Good morning, it is Ian Koniak and today is Story Sunday. And today I'm going to get vulnerable and real with you as to a confession I have to make. I'm listening to a book right now, an audiobook. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And if you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, he probably was really the founder of the law of attraction before the law of attraction even exists. And for those of you who don't know what the law of attraction is, it essentially says your beliefs that you put out combined with your actions will somehow manifest into your reality over time. And the law of attraction basically states that there's an energy that you put out when you have purpose, when you have essentially your vibe and your mission, when it's so internalized that the universe will conspire to help you in terms of manifesting that into your reality. So until a few years ago, I won't profess to claim that I live by that or I believe in it, but now I certainly do because of things that have happened in my life, which I've shared a few of. But today's confession, back to the book. Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, and his other book is called Outwitting the Devil, which is really, it was never published because it was so controversial at the time until a few years ago. And the premise of the book is saying, and for those of you who are not religious, just bear with me because it's not religious. This is a spiritual philosophy. He's not talking about organized religion. But he says for every positive cell, there's a negative cell. For every plus, there's a minus, and that maintains the balance of the universe. And within each person, we have that same positive and we have that same negative energy. And the positive energy is controlled by faith or God or the universe or Jehovah or whatever it is you want to reference the infinite wisdom as. And the negative energy is controlled by darkness or the devil or whatever you want to refer to that as. But essentially, the thoughts that we have and the behaviors we have and the the life that we live, we could be either living by faith and truly thinking for ourselves, or for the vast majority of people in this book, this isn't my belief, but it's what the book is saying, that it says 98% of people are drifting, right? They don't have infinite purpose and they're creatures of habit. Their environment and their circumstances is what they deem to determine their life and their outcome. And basically that the inner work that they're doing, the inner belief system, they're really not thinking for themselves and making choices. They're a victim of circumstance. And the dark force, I don't like saying the devil because it sounds terrible, but the darkness uses our temptations to help us drift. So he uses sex, he uses alcohol, cigarettes, potentially gossip, greed, gluttony, all the things that are easy for man to get tempted to basically control how we live our lives. And the biggest thing he uses is fear, right? And faith is driven more by purpose, by the desire to be your very best, by the goodness, the light essentially. And those of faith are being driven by something much bigger than themselves. And how they show up is faith first. And I'm sharing this to my confession as I think about my own life. I think for the bulk of my life, I was a drifter. And when I say that, I mean, I didn't have a defined purpose of why I was living, what I was living for. And for the most part, I was chasing success in its material form. I was chasing money. I was chasing being the very, very best. I did not chase making an impact, serving others. I was solely serving myself. And somehow I got blessed with having an amazing woman who happens to be very religious, who's really helped me to think about being the best version of myself that I can be, my wife, Sandy. And she happens to be a Jehovah's Witness, which is they follow the Bible almost to a T, and they're very, very religious. So for me to be a man of, I'll call it excess and ego and very selfish, and she'll call me out. She tells me I'm selfish all the time, and it's less and less now since I've been on this personal journey. But my confession is that I've been a drifter. I was driven by material goods. I was driven by ego. I was driven by external thoughts of what people think of me, and that's just shifted so powerfully in the past couple years, especially to the point now where I have to share what I've learned because it is so powerful, and I think it can help change lives. But my desires now, my goals and motivations now are very, very different. My goal is to be the best husband and father I can be. My goal is to be the best version of myself. My goal is to have enough awareness to know when I am drifting, when I'm getting pulled in by old thoughts and habits and addictions, and be able to sit with that and let it pass rather than act on it. My goal is to be of service to so many people so I can make a profound impact in the lives and leave a legacy, which is why I started this Instagram page, and it's going to expand, likely to a podcast, likely to an online course. Not likely, it will expand. It's just a matter of time. And I just share this because if you want to, the title of the book is called Outwitting the Devil. If you want to outwit the devil, the main takeaways are to A, think for yourself, and B, do the inner work, right? The habits that we have could either be in service of a dark side or in service of a light. And if we have habits that are, for example, where am I now? I am in the mountains of Temecula. And for those of you who don't know Temecula, it's in a desert. And am I making excuses for why I'm not running? No, I'm trying to be with nature. This is God's land right here, right? So being at nature, being in the habit of serving myself in a healthy way, not an excessive way, so that I can bring the best energy that I can, right? That is an example of how to be in God's light, to do and to create habits that feed your soul and your mind and to stay consistent. Another habit is service. How can you incorporate service into your life every single day, right? So Napoleon Hill talks a lot about the habits that we take and make, and ultimately you want to have habits that feed your mind, that allow you to grow, contribute, and connect, right? Another habit could be simply having breakfast with your wife every morning, or making a phone call to someone you care about every day, or sending a thank you card as my friend John Israel did for a year straight, or making a video like I'm doing every day. These are habits that fundamentally change your brain, fundamentally change your circumstance, and bring the law of attraction in new ways. So for those of you who stayed with me this whole time, thank you very much. I hope this is helpful. It might sound like mumbo jumbo to some of you guys, but I'm telling you, there's so much truth. The thoughts that we have, the habits we create, the beliefs that we have, if they're in service of something bigger than yourself, if you have faith that you can be the best version of yourself and take whatever's happened in the past and use it, fuel your fire to be able to make an impact and truly be of service and leave a legacy, you will find God. You will find an infinite intelligence that is above and beyond something that you'll be able to ever comprehend, regardless of what you believe or what your thoughts are in organized religion. We're talking about spirituality here, and I feel it. So thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday.